Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whatever time zone you may be in. This is Off the Grid Podcast with Aiden, Jared, and Nathan.
Giving all those acts to the truth.
There we go.
And today we're going to, we're in part 2 of our socialism podcast.
Yeah. Yes.
So we're going to discuss, in this one, we're going to start talking about the free college situation that we're going into.
We can't wait to happen.
Yeah, going
Everyone
into
loves it. Everyone loves it.
Oh yeah, I mean free college, right? So
Yeah.
we're going to be going into why the younger audiences like this idea of
And
socialism.
why it will work 100% of the time.
It always works. It always does.
For people who don't understand sarcasm, that was all sarcastic.
Yeah. But anyways, you can.
we need a button.
Yeah, we need some sound effects here. You can find our podcast on YouTube and Apple Podcasts,
man.
and be sure to subscribe to either
How
one of
do we
those
manage
channels
that?
to be notified for future content. And if you like any of our podcasts, please give us a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, so
Smash that like button.
smash that like button.
Destroy
And
it.
subscribe to our channels because we will post regularly.
Yes, and it'll help our channel grow. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's get into this. So as people's brains develop, they begin to sway more towards capitalism.
Naturally, unless
naturally,
unless
yeah.
there's an
I mean, as
outside
they-
influence.
As
As they grow older, like
leave high school, leave
yeah.
the teachers' minds.
And this is the
set on their
thing.
life.
This is the thing. Bernie Sanders and all these Democrats, they specifically target younger people.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that's their
yeah.
plan.
oh, that's
Free
that's
college.
well, the whole plan is that they want to target these younger audiences, and then guess what? The Democratic Party is supporting 16-year-olds to vote.
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Who was Ocasio-Cortez?
I believe.
Alexandria?
Yeah,
Occasional
one of,
Cortex?
yeah.
Is that who we're... I think that was who sang...
I believe.
What's
I
the
don't.
What's the other name? What's the name? There's a... Yeah, you're right. There's a
But,
candidate that's
yeah.
endorsing that. Like, what?
It's
What in the world?
The Democrats as a whole is doing that, and that can kind of go back to letting illegal immigrants into the country.
Oh, don't even get me started on that.
I know, but the Democrats want these people to come into the country. That's why they don't want a border, because they want these people to vote for them.
Yeah, no,
they're like,
absolutely.
okay,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Republicans, they hate
Look at
you,
the
so don't
demographics.
vote for them. Vote for us. We
Right.
want you
The
here.
statistics show that as you grow older, as you leave the
As your brain
confines of your school, as your brain develops, you become more conservative because you need to manage what you have. And so no longer are you this is how I see it. Like, my dad always says, like, take risks now, more or less. Like,
Yeah.
this is the time to take risks when you're younger, is because you have a lot of time to make up for it. When you're
Oh,
older,
yeah.
you can't afford. Like, if you're 50 years old and you have all your life savings and you dump that into the stock market, well, shoot.
That's
Because
a bad
if you
idea.
lose your money right now,
Then you-
you have the rest of your life that you have to work. And you're 50 years old. Most people retire at like 65.
Right.
You have 10 or
You're gonna
15
die
more years
working.
that you would normally be working, and then you would get that time off. Well, now you have to work for the rest of your life because you just lost your whole life savings.
You're literally gonna
Now,
die working.
if I invest all my life savings, it's not going to be as much. But even if it was as much, now I have another 30 years to make up for it.
Right.
So it's like the idea behind that. When you get older, you become more conservative because you cannot afford to lose.
Not be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
it
of course,
also
get
goes
60
in with, like,
60
when you're
60 years.
older, you don't have that, you don't have the flexibility to risk your income
Right, no,
towards different
absolutely.
things. Like, because, for example, you can have a family and have kids, and you're like, well, I can't risk not being able to support
Right,
them, because
right.
if it's just you and you're like a single, just a single human
I
being
am.
out in the universe, you're like, you have your money, all you got to worry about is yourself.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's all I care about.
Yeah.
too.
That's
all I love.
self-centered.
Very
Narcissistic.
selfish, man.
You scare me a bit.
Yeah, so,
But
I mean,
love you guys.
You're scary.
Just joking. Not joking. That was real.
I mean,
Okay.
here's the thing. It's kind of mean if you think about it. Like, they're basically playing on these young people.
No, yeah.
Saying like,
Oh
you know,
yeah, they're just a target because they're they can't make full decisions without
They're very impulsive.
Yeah, they're very impulsive. So all you got to do is say a couple things like free college, and then all of a sudden it's like,
oh, yeah.
everyone's like swarming to you, and that's why it's
Yeah.
like.
What is
And
that?
I heard something the other day. This scares me a bit. On college campuses where they have like speakers come over
Yeah.
to like
Yeah.
I don't know, give a speech about something. And usually it's
Obviously.
obviously
I'm just joking.
Free college?
free college.
Oh, heck yeah.
You can come speak in my college.
Why, like, pick and
no.
choose? Like,
what it is, they are accepting people that are more or like Democrats
No,
or
absolutely.
democratic socialists
That is
to come speak on the college campuses instead of
people like Ben
conservatives.
Shapiro. Like Ben Shapiro.
Yeah,
people
they're
like
they're
him, yeah.
basically shunning them off of campus. Like, no, you're bad.
That's-
Like they're making the conservatives like the bad guys.
That's an agenda if I've ever seen one.
Oh yeah,
Like,
and
that's
What is that one saying? It's you either live this.
you either
or
die hero or you live long enough to see us. Is that from Dark Knight? You die
see,
hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
So you either
Is that-
die a hero or you live long enough to become a Republican. Just joking. No,
What?
Become a villain.
No, I'm saying because
wait.
people get more conservative as time goes on.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like
You either die
That makes sense, that makes
long enough to see
sense,
yourself become a conservative. Yeah.
Right, that's what I
Yeah.
meant
So
to
what
say.
happens
Yeah.
if you start out as a conservative? Do you just become more conservative,
Oh,
or do you go
gosh.
the opposite
I
direction?
think we go the opposite direction. I think we have a really bad future in front of us.
Oh crap!
Okay.
No. Generation
5
Z.
years later, I love socialism.
What?
Welcome to the Off the Socialism podcast. This is stupid joke.
OTS.
Anyways, back to the college campus thing. I actually had something to mention about that.
Oh, man.
Did you guys hear recently about how Donald Trump signed an executive order
Oh, my.
to stop the the discrimination of the free speech on campuses?
Yeah.
To basically
That-
say like, okay, you guys are
Actually,
allowed to have that.
I hope he goes further than just
Then-
executive order. I hope he now that he has the executive
He
order
enforces
starts
it.
starts to build up policies and stuff. Because here's what happens with executive orders. As soon as he came into office, he got rid of like a bunch of Obama's executive orders.
Good.
Oh yeah, because he wants nothing
he
to do
doesn't
with
want 'em.
Obama. Yeah.
And so that was so simple for them to get rid of. So let's say the next president, which
Is a
often goes
Democrat.
back and forth through the parties, is going to be a Democrat. Well, now we're going to just wipe off all these things that we're trying for. It's like, no, we need to fight with policies and get something
Yeah. Done.
Something
Something more
deeper,
solid.
right.
Because executive orders can be taken
That's
out
the
like
trouble.
that.
Yeah.
You know, like
But here's the
law.
thing:
that.
a lot of universities are there was at least one of them that responded saying we have policies that are in place to protect freedom of speech.
Doesn't matter.
I call bull crap on that
Yeah.
because here's the thing: I hear about it more often than not. You saying, okay, this person has this political view, you're not allowed to speak on my campus
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
like that is discriminating.
Ben
Like
Shapiro.
whether you're
That one thing about I don't know if it was Berkeley, but all the students were getting like really antsy. Like when you was,
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of stuff.
like
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
I am a conservative, I don't discriminate against a socialist
Like-
coming to speak on campus. I'm
I
not
would
like
allow
you.
him to.
I'm like
Yeah.
this is evil. You can't speak here.
even
No.
though it is.
Well, it is, but I'm not. I'm
Free
not
speech,
going
yeah.
to. I'm
we
not
are
going
fair,
to say.
we are fair human
Like
beings.
say I was,
Right.
I was the guy that would make the decision if they can, like an event
Speak.
planner or something, and
Right.
say, okay, this guy can come speak, but and I find out he's a socialist, I'm still gonna let him
Yeah.
come and
We
speak.
need a free
free world.
no, we need a
Free world.
yeah,
Walking
we need
in
a
the-
free exchange of ideas. Otherwise, we get locked into echo chambers, and that's what we're at in terms of colleges. Most colleges,
What
except for like PragerU, they're like literally the only conservative college. Not really, but the thing is like
What for real?
no.
I was gonna say, are
they're the
you
only known
crazy?
conservative college.
There
I
we
feel.
go.
But it's just the fact of the matter is, you get a bunch of people in one room, and they all have the same ideas.
Oh,
It's just an echo chamber. You
Oh,
just
yeah.
get people.
You're not getting any
New ideas.
arguments
New
that
ideas
are
at all,
against.
yeah.
We need to have that socialist person come in
Exactly.
so that we can shoot them down and make them cry.
Yeah, definitely.
Ben Shapiro does it
No,
all the
but
time.
I
Ben
really
Shapiro
think-
does that all the time.
Because I really think that
Absolutely.
It's awesome too.
with schools they tend to
Lord.
whether you're an Aiden.
Whether you're an Aiden
Whether you're an Aiden or a
or a Jared.
yeah, or Nathan.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we got to include you.
Participation.
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, wow. You invited me on this
Unfortunately.
show, man.
Discrimination.
Discrimination. Calling me out. Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh snap. Yeah. So I. My gosh.
Oh my word, man.
Where are we going?
I think it. Yeah. Where was I going with this?
Talking about free college to
Yeah, I
discrimination.
was going back to the. I feel like
Oh.
college students, that's like a prime time of your life, along with just school in general, and whatever place you're in. I think up to age 30, that's like when you really need to like start, searching
Stop
and trying to
buckling
figure out
down.
what you believe in. You know, what I
Need to
mean?
buckle down.
Like
Yeah.
I would
yeah.
say 20s. I wouldn't even
20s?
wait till 30s.
Well,
Like
I'm just saying
30s.
because like your brain is
Oh,
fully
I see what you're
developed
saying,
at
yeah.
30, and then it's like okay, now you can make
Now you
Yeah,
know what
I've
you
heard 30.
want. Yeah.
I've heard 25. I've heard.
I don't know. They change it all the time because they find new
I'd
information
say-
on it. But
I mean,
yeah.
you need to start developing your ideas at 20, but you really, like, it's hard for me to say this because I'm 20. So it's like,
Yeah.
but like, we're developing our brain, and we just need to use logic. We just need to come down to the basis of like logic and if it makes actual sense, and then be willing to change our ideas, but know our morals. Like remember, like 'cause I don't think morals come down to age. I think that you can have good morals throughout your life.
Yeah.
I mean, the piggyback off that, there are people that are 40 that have horrible morals.
No,
and there are people that are
I
8
said
that have
you can have good morals.
Yeah,
but
I know
think
that's
that-
just something that I was
think I said
saying.
that.
Yeah,
I
If I
think that
didn't,
there's
I
got to
meant
be
yeah.
there's got to be an equal treatment of different ideas because you want to allow the students and anyone that is listening to this to like just to these presentations to kind of form their own ideas.
Yeah.
Like don't press things upon others like okay, you know, if this is a conservative college for example and you know, you don't want to just keep pressing those ideas. You want to have like some other influences to
It'd
try
be
to
hard. Sorry.
you know, to try to allow people to make their decision on their own.
It'd be hard pressed to find a leftist that agrees with you on that. Now, if you're the one leftist that does, then you're in
Thank
the
you.
minority. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you. but
Thank
you're
you
in the
because you
minority.
understand that we actually have, you know,
Morality.
we want to be rational here and
Right.
kind of have some other ideas like influences. You know,
Everybody's
like
going for the same thing.
like
We're all
we
going
s-
for the good.
yeah, like we said in part 1, we can't have one type of government. You know, so
Yeah.
we can't have one idea and stick
Nope.
with that idea. We got to have multiple ideas and work together.
Kind of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take
The whole
The
point-
U.S. is a
good
melting.
parts
The
out.
U.S. is a melting pot.
Yeah,
I mean,
or they call it a
Capitalism
tossed
is not
salad
a
now,
perfect
but
system either.
Yeah. Oh, that,
it's called a tossed salad now.
Yeah.
But
Is that what
The
they're
U.S. is
calling it
tossed.
now?
Yeah.
they're
the
calling it a
US is-
tossed salad,
gosh.
not a melting pot. We don't all melt together. We're tossed together.
Oh my goodness, where have we found this?
Politically correct.
I guarantee you the conservatives aren't calling it that. I
Nope,
think
that-
No,
yeah,
no,
that's
we're
the
calling it
PC
melting pot.
people,
The PC people.
not Mac people. We're Mac people.
So let's go more on this.
That was a joke.
The PC is not the master race at all.
So let's go more on this free college stuff that we need
Yeah.
to talk about. This is pretty important.
How much does college cost for like? Were you trying to do a Bernie's?
Yeah, free college for everyone.
I kind of got that. No, but it
kinda
costs
got
like
that.
$50,000 on average to like somewhere around that to go to college.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're talking about an extra $50,000 to anyone who wants to do it, right? That's how much.
And you
money
don't
it's
even
gonna
know
cost.
if they'll actually. They could have like terrible grades and still like.
Oh yeah.
No, here's
There's
the,
no incentive.
here's the thing that my
You're
dad
not
said.
spending your own money.
Here's the thing that my family says, specifically my dad. He was really smart when he said this. Well, obviously, but So
Seems like
he
a
says
very
you
smart
have
dude in general, but yeah.
you have a 16-year-old who is getting straight A's, you know,
Yeah.
and then you have someone who's getting F's. Mm-hmm. And that
More
person
towards
that gets
latter.
the person who gets the F's gets in that college. But the
Exactly.
person
And,
who works,
you know, there's
doesn't.
people in high school that they pound it in your head. You need to have good grades in high school, so
go to
then you get
college.
scholarships
Lake
to
did that.
get accepted
Yeah.
into college.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you have the socialized system where anyone can get into college, just free college, you know, anyone
Nobody
can get
works.
in. And
Nobody works,
so
yeah.
basically, a person with all failing grades can get into college, and then
like Ohio State.
yeah,
Well,
they'll
someone.
Ohio State would not be a prestigious school. It would just be any
Yeah.
any normal
Well,
school.
someone who
Every
works
school
their
would
butt
be
off
equal.
gets straight A's doesn't get in. Like that's not fair.
Yeah, like it says.
Talk
Okay,
about
average.
equality, but
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Not
going to
fair.
use a university for example. Kent State University.
yeah,
It's
easiest one.
The average cost after 8 is $19,000.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
So just think about that. An extra $19,000 per person. That's $60,000 or about with us. That's like the government just being. Could you imagine if the government did that for anything else?
Oh
Could you
my
imagine
Lord.
that? If they just were like, oh no, we're just gonna give you $19,000.
There would be.
If they did that for everyone who asked, like that, this is the reason. This is why it's. I don't want to use the word common sense because it's not shared by everybody, but
Right.
in some terms it is common sense. You really think that's one thing that socialists, at least in our socialist, that they're pushing it with our country is like, no, that's $19,000 per person. Do you realize how much money that is? Do you realize how quickly the rich people that you're stealing from, how quickly that runs out? Like seriously.
and I just like put your mindset in the like say you're a business owner that just was able to finally make it successful, and you're like, now I'm finally out of debt.
Us,
you know,
us at our podcast. Let's say that.
yeah,
we,
you know, like say
grow-
our podcast got really huge, and we finally got successful.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Huge, I tell you.
My professor says that huge. He
You-
seriously
like,
says that. Yeah.
Unintentionally says
No,
huge.
yeah. And he always brings up Donald
He
Trump.
doesn't do this,
but then-
right?
He, he always brings up Donald Trump, but then he always backtracks. He's not like
Backtrack.
Backtracks.
but he always backtracks because he'll say something, and I know he's not in complete like support of him, but I know he's not like complete non-support of him.
Yeah, like
but it's so awkward because the first day that like literally the first or second day of class, like he brought up something, and then this girl shouted out, not shouted, but it seemed like it was, but she said something like. Like I don't like Trump, but it was like one of those statements that like very directed, but had nothing to do with what he was saying, and it was just so awkward.
It was just so.
When people
Well, it's
bring
just-
politics into everything,
yeah, like you do not have to bring it into everything.
Right.
I
This is a
actually,
funny-
I want to, I want to mention something on that. I took a politics
boy.
class last semester,
Oh,
and
my.
surprisingly, Aiden, they did not push any ideas like
Really?
on you. You know, like you should be a Democrat. You know, like they didn't push those ideas.
That's
he
not
was
late,
very.
right?
I couldn't
No.
even tell what party he was in. Like he never.
that's what one of our high
he
school
never,
teachers did too. What there was
Mr.
one.
Mo-
No, don't
No,
say
no,
names.
no.
But one of our high school teachers was very like she led you to believe that she was down the center most not down the center, but like you didn't know what party she was on.
Yeah.
I think I know what party she was on.
It's just very neutral.
No, I think she was Democrat and somewhat of a leftist, but maybe not full leftist, but like,
yeah, like in the middle, like between left and.
But she was
Like
definitely. I'm
libertarian?
pretty sure
was
she
it like
was a
libertarian.
No, well, see, we're talking about different states. We're talking about like conservatives, leftists. These are all different terms
Yeah.
that mean completely different things. But yeah,
Yeah.
but I think she was more of liberal, but she
Yeah.
wasn't extremely left, but she was like leaning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was really weird, like just with the class because I couldn't tell. I'm like,
was
wait,
very
maybe
fair.
he is a Democrat. Oh, wait, maybe he's a
not.
Republican.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe he doesn't have a party. I
Did
don't
he
know.
reveal? Did
I
he
was very-
reveal the answer at the end?
No, he never did. No, he was like, well, when he was mentioning about a certain like president or something, he's like, not to pick on him or not to pick on
Yeah.
her.
That's what
And
my one teacher does.
Yeah,
my one
like
professor
he
does.
doesn't want to make it seem like he said this almost every single class because he does not want to
Right, no,
make it
absolutely.
like.
So,
And I like him for that. You know, not I appreciate that he does not push certain ideas.
You have a level of
Like,
respect for him. Yeah.
Yeah, I really respect that. You know,
Yeah.
so that's what like other people when they think, oh, you're taking a political science class, that must be very
No, yeah, that's
pushing ideas on you. No, that actually it doesn't. You know,
No.
and
Well, I took a class in death and dying. Sounds really weird. I'm in
What?
business school. It's called death and dying. And you think that they would try to push a lot of ideas on you, and it was a little bit of that, but like I was very surprised that it wasn't like pushing ideas. It was more just
Very laid
opening
back.
you up to the ideas of multiple things.
Opening up your
Although
mind.
Yeah.
sometimes the idea of open-mindedness is not always open-minded. Normally it's
No.
like, well, we're showing you this for a second and then this for the rest of the class. You're like, that's
They
not
are-
very
They
open-minded.
only
Yeah,
show
you
you what
see,
they want.
mine
you
was
know.
more like, let's look at some of the history of politics. Let's look at, okay, this
Did
is the
you-
certain policies that were passed. And
You being
these are-
more or less Republican, did you learn stuff to defend your points?
Oh
let's
yeah,
say?
I learned
really?
stuff, and I'm sure
Wow.
that Democrats that were in the class, they learned stuff
And
too.
you learned how to go against it. So that's,
Yeah,
that's cool.
it's very.
Did you have a
helpful,
debate?
actually.
Did you have like a fake debate?
Did anyone scream? I hope someone
We've
screamed.
had like debates on like we had like certain projects with policies. Like one of them was legalizing weed was one of them.
Yeah.
Cannabis.
Cannabis, whatever you want to call
Marijuana.
it. I just call it weed because
420,
it's easier.
bro.
Marijuana.
Marijuana.
Stay away from
Marijuana.
me.
Marijuana.
Oh wow.
Marijuana.
That was
You just
really,
made that up.
that was a bit rough.
You made it up.
No,
Yeah.
I've been saying that for a while now.
Oh well.
Marijuana.
It doesn't matter how long you said it. You made it up.
Oh, that's true. You do
that's
have a point
true,
there.
man.
All words
Anyways,
are made up.
we got way off track.
Yeah. Again.
So, all right, let's bring this back in here. Free college is really what Bernie Sanders and other socialists, they're really pushing for that.
Right.
And Aiden, like we've said in part one a little bit and earlier, we said that they really target them just because they know that they're vulnerable to it.
They're gonna
like,
give in. They're gonna.
because here's the thing. People think of college and like, that's really expensive. I really do not want to spend that much money and then go into debt, like get student loans
gosh.
and then have to pay off the student loans because the interest keeps building up. And then
I mean,
before you know it.
or I don't know if you.
Nope, I don't go to college. I don't have to worry about
No,
that.
I don't have loans yet.
Don't have
so,
loans.
So
Dude,
the
well,
longer the
congratulations.
longer we
Scholarships.
wait and hold off, the better. You know, at some point I may have to do a loan, but right now it's okay. And you know, you kind of have to sometimes. Like, you can't just avoid unless you quit college. You know, or you make more money.
We
all
try
of a
to
sudden.
avoid debt by whatever means necessary. But if we have to, as sad as that is.
Yeah, you kind of have to get a loan sometimes. Like certain, like a
college
house, you
course,
have to
I'm
get a
in
loan
now.
for a
I want
house, unless you're like a millionaire and you're like, oh, buy this house right now.
Oh, you meant in general. I thought you were just talking about just school. Like, just student
Well,
loans.
I mean,
understand
like
there's a way to avoid that.
student
Like,
loans.
I'm completely against that, but sometimes
I mean,
it
like
does save people.
I mean, like right now, I'm avoiding student loans because I'm 2 years into college, so
That's
I've
awesome,
avoided
dude.
2
I'm
years.
happy for you, man.
Thanks, and hopefully,
Congrats, man.
I hope that like because I'm trying to find another job that will fit what I want to do, and then and I'll make more money, hopefully enough to help support my college even more, and then maybe by that time I'll be able to pay it off.
Yeah.
And not have to even worry about one bit of debt after college. So
Dude, that would be awesome.
because then I can
student
just
loans-
move right on with my life, and I can save up for a house and a car, and
Raise
You
a
don't have to
family.
do that.
Raise a
You don't have to
family.
save.
because I already have money.
Just joking. No, seriously, that does.
Yeah.
sound
So
Yeah.
really,
Good plan.
Don't get a car loan. Okay, let's go.
You're always gonna have a car payment.
Dave Ramsey, shush.
anyways,
man.
is that pretty much it for that area, Aiden, with the free college?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we covered it pretty
I
well.
don't know where we're at, so.
Okay, that's nice.
So-
that's good.
Was I supposed to say something?
That's good.
Is
So
that
you
what
keep-
my note was? I have one note in this.
okay.
Is that where my note was? Was I supposed to say something?
I don't know. Does it have your name by it?
Nope.
No, not yet.
No, not
Okay,
yet.
I didn't
man.
think
All
so.
right, well, we'll move on to the next part.
so-
So,
Sorry, Aiden. What?
I was gonna say, so socialists always talk about equality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
We're all in agreement, right?
yeah,
Okay.
especially when it comes to income, right, Jared?
Right.
Okay, so yeah, so
Yeah. So that's what we're going into next.
yeah. Sorry. Well,
So,
I
so
completely lost my train of
basically,
thought.
they think that the idea that some people
Lost my
get
train
paid
of
more
thought.
than others is a bad thing, right?
Yeah,
And
Oh, that's wrong.
it is wrong. I
Paid
mean,
more,
like,
more
it's
than
wrong.
others
Like,
or less than others?
I mean, generally, when you think like, that's why people don't release how much they're getting paid. Like say you're working with your coworker, you'd be like, "Hey, I make $19 an hour." Like, well, I only make 14. Like,
Yeah.
you're not
Like
gonna,
fighting.
yeah, you're gonna be like,
Why?
you were like, I've been here 5 years. He's only been here 3. Why does he make more money than me?
Right,
that idea. Yeah, I can understand why you would kind of think like I should be making the same as him. And equality and stuff. That
If
makes
you're doing the
perfect
exact
sense.
same job, you've been there exact same amount of years, and you're doing
Especially if you're
the
there
exact
longer
same-
and you haven't got a raise, like that
Right,
even
right.
fires you up a little bit more, and you're
No,
like,
yeah.
I should be making more money, but I'm not.
Right.
And
I can see why.
yeah, I can
people
see
go.
why they would believe that, but I feel like it's all incentive. That is what helps the capitalistic economy go.
Go.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's like the coal that keeps the fire burning.
Right.
Yeah.
And who's to say that okay, I'm going to use, like, this might sound a little bit harsh, but do poor people make jobs?
No.
Who makes jobs?
Rich people.
Rich people.
Yeah, that's all there is
Rich
to
people
it. Like,
provide poor people jobs.
Yeah.
That's just the truth of the matter. Like,
Yeah.
people will look at, who's Mark Zuckerberg? He's
And then to create a Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a billionaire?
yeah.
He's
Oh,
a
yeah.
billionaire. Oh, well, he's doing something immoral because he's a billionaire.
No, he
well,
worked his butt off for
He
it.
works
First
his
of
butt
all.
off, but yeah, here's the thing. He might be immoral. He is immoral in some things. But the thing is the fact of the, I keep on saying that the fact of the matter, but it is. The fact of the matter is that he's created so many jobs for people.
Yeah.
He's provided a service that is good. He's
Right.
provided so many jobs for people. Elon Musk. I wouldn't say Elon Musk. He has created a lot of jobs, but who's
he's-
Amazon?
He doesn't know how to,
He's
he doesn't know how to run a
Amazon.
company.
think
He doesn't know
Elon-
how to run a.
I think he's taken too many risks. Like, I can talk
He
about
takes a lot of
Elon.
risks. And then he also takes a lot of government money because
doesn't
know how to
SpaceX, trust me, is not
Oh, yeah.
100% funded by people. It's
No,
funded by
by the government.
by the people. It's provided by the government. But
Because NASA can't even build their own rockets, so
Right.
they have to throw the SpaceX to.
that's why we haven't been to the moon yet. I'm just joking. But that's a whole nother podcast.
No, wait.
There we go. That was
Oh,
better than mine. I can't
that-
do that.
That's not.
Was
Like,
that Doctor Who?
No, no,
theme
no, no, no,
song?
no. That's supposed to be like the Illuminati.
Oh, got it. Okay, I haven't heard that in a while. All right.
Yeah.
That's why we need
so-
a sound effects button.
Yes, we.
But
do.
they're just creating jobs. That's all I was saying. Is that
Yeah.
who's the Amazon? Bezos.
Jeff
Yep,
Bezos.
Jeff
Jeff Bezos.
He has created thousands and thousands of jobs.
Oh, yeah.
And then Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Is that the next part of the notes?
Yeah.
Well, that we're at some point we're gonna mention it.
But
Nathan, you did it
Alexandria
again.
Ocasio-Cortez. She
You
she
did it
kicks
again.
them out of New York. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah, that
you know how many jobs that was going to provide to just New York
And-
alone?
First of all, who are you to do that? First of all.
Yeah.
yeah,
like-
it's not your job. And she's what, like 29 years old or something?
Yeah.
Like she's too young to run for
Fresh
president.
faces. Have you
Yeah.
seen Ben Shapiro's show lately?
Oh.
So fresh, so face. Just so great.
What?
Oh, yeah,
I have
so
not
great.
seen that yet.
Oh, man.
So yeah, going back, jumping off of that, we were talking about the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Well,
Yeah.
she turned away Amazon.
I
Just
I like how Ocasio-Cortez is like underlined in red because it thinks it's spelled wrong.
probably is.
Okay.
No,
No, it's
no, I
Spanish,
spelled it right.
man.
So spelled it right.
I spelled it.
I spelled it right.
I spelled it.
We get so caught up on the wrong things.
I spelled it right.
What were you gonna say?
I spelled
So-
it.
Do the socialists actually want any capitalism is the question, because that's something you don't think of. You just think of, oh well, the socialists, they don't want capitalism at all. But some of them do. Like they realize that it's gonna fail.
Not
without-
only the
I don't
one
know.
that
Some
they
people
actually
get
need
into a
it.
delusion and then they think they want something that they really don't.
It's kind of hard to tell, but like Cortez, like she was in an interview or something. I was watching
Yeah.
it like on earlier today.
So
And-
fresh, so face.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
But she was talking about like
yeah, bro.
she was asked, "Do you believe that there should be capitalism and with a socialistic society?" And she's like, "Well, like yeah, no." And she's like, kind of like,
Yeah.
she's like, "Some people believe," and like,
Yeah. What? Say what you need to say. Like don't like
Down
they dance around the
Oh,
plot
yeah.
because
They
they
dance
don't
around
have
fire.
they don't have a solid belief on a lot of these things. They have an idea. That's what an
That
ideology
gives into
is.
the-
It's like a thing you buy into, but it doesn't answer all the
yeah,
questions.
and I think
That
that
kind of ties back to the thing about them not being fully developed, like the brain not being fully developed yet.
yeah,
Well, ties back into the-
she has one more year, right?
yeah,
What?
and then she'll be all good
and then
after.
she'll be Republican.
Yeah,
No.
guys,
No,
I
no,
screwed
no,
up.
no.
Come back, Amazon.
Happy birthday. Instantly, like, become a Republican.
Speaking of
just
which,
like,
she realized like how much negative
What?
media attention she got after Amazon left, and she's like,
Oh,
"Oh wait, come back, come back, come back!" And Amazon's like, "Bye, Felicia."
Gotta get gas and get go.
Good. But anyways, yeah, that's unrelated.
Not at all.
Yeah,
Oh
so
man.
yeah, so they really, she realized what mistake she made, but she doesn't really.
Good.
She has that ideology like you're talking about. She only has that. She doesn't have anything like factual evidence to base
Back
it
it up.
off of.
Have you ever? I heard someone else talking about this, but have you ever seen when she goes off quote unquote script? Like she has something she wants to say, but as soon as she gets talked about anything else other than her main talking points, she kind of just
goes
dances
nuts.
around. She doesn't really understand what she's talking about, and you find so many loopholes in what she has to say
She
because
does
she'll
no
say one
research.
thing and then she doesn't know how to respond to any
It's
other
not
questions.
real
so
solid.
No,
She does
it's-
no
it's
research for me,
so-
none.
Like she would
Well,
get
not none, but
she
yeah.
would get destroyed
enough,
if she was
yeah.
in a debate against
Ben
Trump
Shapiro.
and her.
No, no,
Like
no.
Trump, boom, knock
No,
her
can you
out.
imagine
you know?
Ben Shapiro against her? He would absolutely
my God.
decimate. He would decimate her.
She'd be on
Here's
the floor
the thing.
crying.
Here's
but-
the thing, though.
I don't
Actually,
want that, but
they reached
I don't
out
want
to
that.
each other.
Really?
Shapiro.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
right.
So what I was
Yeah.
gonna say was, is
right.
Shapiro's like, "Hey, can I get in a debate with you? Can we go and have a debate?"
doesn't
And she's
get
like,
a debate.
"No."
She doesn't.
She said that's catcalling or something. Like,
What? She's scared. She knows she's.
I don't.
She
I
knows
didn't hear
she'll
that part.
lose.
If you're telling the truth, which
no, I am telling the truth.
how do I know?
No, I seriously am though. Look it up now. They're,
I'm
Yeah,
serious.
it's-
I don't trust this kid.
I don't trust this
This
kid.
kid.
Yeah, look it up, Aiden.
Look it
look
up.
it-
Look it.
Wait, what did Cat call it?
Yeah, so just look up just look it up on the internet. I'm sure the tweets will come up with it.
Oh, good lord.
This is gonna be good.
Oh gosh,
Ah.
I don't see it.
What
I said
ethnicity is?
CAL instead of cat.
What ethnicity is? That's so stupid.
Yeah, let's see here. Catcalling Cortez.
Just like it's catcalling. I don't. Oh, wow. So someone's getting a little bit salty. Just like catcalling, I don't owe a response to unsolicited requests from men with bad intentions.
What in the world?
I don't think that was against Ben Shapiro though.
It's
No,
just
she
an
was
at Ben
Also,
Shapiro's
like what?
an at Ben Shapiro's
But this is someone else.
yeah.
Oh, that's some. Okay, so what we're reading right now. So for all the people who are not looking at us or looking at our screen, this is someone who's tweeting and saying, "Hey, Ocasio, like, aren't you going to respond to Ben Shapiro?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because
you're
he
refusing to respond to
he
him.
tweeted to her, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
wait, $10,000 debate offer. Is that what he was offering to
Yeah.
debate her?
Yeah.
No way. Dude,
I would have taken
that's
that.
the thing that makes her nervous.
And
it's
he-
capitalism.
And he,
It's
yeah, the whole point of getting money is,
Oh, did you hear that she was taking all the planes? Did you hear about that?
Oh my.
When she could have
word.
taken a train, she's so in support of all these trains and how much they save on and how much they save the
She
environment.
takes planes
and
everywhere.
then she takes a plane. She's like, well,
Would exploded probably.
I
like,
needed to do, and it's like, no, you literally just said the Green New Deal has it that all planes will be taken out of the sky. You have to rebuild every building in the U.S. So
And
that
yet
we
she
can make
just
more
gets-
green.
and yet she
You're
gets
gonna
an airport.
take away all fossil fuels. It's like, what kind of
what kind of pussy are you?
she's just pulling this crap out of her.
but
I don't.
but no, but the thing is
Oh,
like
that's true. I mean,
like she's not willing to take this. She's calling it catcalling because it's part of her ideology. The leftist ideology is that you can just blame
Brainwashed.
it on it. Oh, it's just the white man because
Excuses.
the request from the I don't need to take or I don't owe bleh. Just like catcalling, I don't owe a response to unsolicited requests from men.
oh my gosh.
What? Okay, so if it was a woman saying, "Can I debate you?" would you say the same thing? Like, no,
Is she white or like what? What race?
just don't have a profile picture.
I can't respond to you unless I know
have
what
have
race
like
you're on.
it's
No.
a burner account. Get on there and just pretend like you're somebody, and then
Oh,
they
man.
can't say that you're white, you're black, you're Hispanic. They can't start saying that
Oh.
stuff. Yeah.
Ben Shapiro is a white male Jew.
Well,
Cis
look,
white
just
male.
just look
That
at
sounds so-
just look at this, like how her bug eyes. Look at those.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Ugh.
Like
Oh,
no, she got like. Do you ever
you're
see
a
the picture?
bully.
She's like this.
You're a
You're
bully.
just a bully. You're just.
No, I mean it's
Oh,
just
man, that's
hilarious when
awesome.
she looks like a deer in headlights sort of thing all the time.
Literally in the sense of like that she doesn't know what she's talking about. When she does
Her
not
eyes
know,
get
it's like-
huge when she
she's
doesn't
like,
know what she's doing.
I don't know what to say here, but like I'm not just trying to say the conspiracy that the
imitation.
left has everything under control, but like the left jumps on so many things and it does not. They'll jump on the good points that she has and then never show anything of her messing up because she messes up all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
and
so bad.
this kind of goes.
They kind of cover for her.
Here's a fun little tidbit for you.
Ooh.
She has never been in a debate with an opposing viewpoint.
Right. I
And
know.
There's a reason
she-
for that. There's a reason.
It's not
I mean,
never, but like not a
Not
main
with like on
conservative
Not enough
review.
to-
I'm sure she's talked to somebody in like
In her
public,
life.
in
Maybe
real
she
life
hasn't.
against.
That's maybe why she has such a
Yeah, she probably
wrong ideology.
slaps him with her purse and runs the other way or something. I don't know, but she certainly.
There was actually a video of that happening.
She did?
No.
Are you kidding me? Oh, I was about to say that'd be cool.
That'd be fun. We'd have to include that. We would have to if. That,
Yeah, so I don't know. It's hilarious how can you just imagine
Okay.
all the dumb people that elected her to get her into the position
they
she's
are
in?
She's such
She's a senator.
Face. So fresh. So face.
So fresh and so flake.
Face. Face.
I know, but
So
that's a song.
Goodness.
Never mind.
Oh my word.
Oh my word.
Oh my word.
So is this where I come in? My name's written
Yeah,
down.
you can go ahead.
So
It's where you come in, bro.
I read a book. No, actually, I read like an eighth of a book because it was so like boring. But it was a good book. I'm still probably gonna go back and read it.
Yeah.
It's called Economics in One Lesson by someone or another. But it was a really good book. It was on.
Good author.
it was about economics, and it really went into the idea. Since we're talking about socialism here, it went into the idea that like where we're getting our money, and that's where I've been kind of like gaining my whole talking points with this
From the knowledge tree.
from the knowledge tree. I don't know what he meant by that, but
Gaining
okay.
your knowledge.
Okay.
From,
To the unauthorized access.
To the truth.
Yeah,
the truth.
unauthorized
Okay, yeah.
access to the truth. You gotta
So
know
the
that.
thing is
That's
is
our
that
slogan.
I'm new to this, guy.
To be a part of the group, man, you gotta know this.
Okay, well,
Come on,
It took
man.
me a second to spit it out, but
Good.
the thing is that it talked really heavily about the idea of incentivizing your workers, and it talked really heavily about the idea of the rich people are the people who make the jobs for other people, and so it talked about like the idea of automation and all these things. So I'm going to relate this back to socialism, but like we're talking about automation, so we're making more people like have more things, so more or less greater things.
Making more people.
No, we're having more people have greater
Yeah.
things. So like when it comes down to clothing, they were used this as a big example. They kept on referencing this. When the things that make clothing, weaving machine, I don't know what the actual term is, is
Textiles.
what is it?
I think it's textiles.
I think that's
something like
more. That's for text. I think that's for newspapers. But as far as it goes,
am I
the
saying,
machines
man?
that weave, when they were first coming out in the Industrial Revolution, like they were like taxing the machines really heavily, or they were saying for electricians, if you had it was pipe runners. So like people who would have to run pipes in housing,
Yeah.
you would have to cut
Like
the
plumbing
threads.
and stuff,
You would have
yeah.
to cut the threads on site. Well, now they were making machines to do it. So now they would put the pipes in the machines, and then they would cut the threads,
Yeah.
and then you'd have all these pre-cut pipes, and that's what we use nowadays. But we do have all these pre-cut pipes, and now we would add them into the house, and it would take not 20 minutes, but you know what I'm saying, 20
Yeah,
minutes versus
it'd take a lot less time to get it together.
versus 2 hours.
Progress.
And the thing is that it's progress. And so, which means we can put more plumbing into more people's houses and let them live a better life. What they saw
Capitalism.
is they were like, no, this can't work because it's going to take the jobs away from these plumbers. So what they did was they only had them do one side of the pipe. So they only cut the one side and made it so that they could thread the one side, and then they cut the other thread on site so that they would they wouldn't take away that person's job. And then for electricians, they would have people who were running electric generators. Instead of running a wire all the way up to the job site, they would have these generators. Well, the
That
generators
changed
were
everything.
great.
That changed.
You didn't have to bring electricity right away up to
Wow.
to the buildings, but then they would hire a full electrician to sit there all day long, even though the
Just-
generators were running, because you needed to pay someone to do that job. Well, the thing is that as you see the industries grow, more people get better things.
Yeah.
And then if you don't hire that extra person, then you have lesser price. But then that person finds another job, and it always like when we're talking about machines and stuff, it's like you always come back to the idea that like better comes with like easier labor and more of it. So when it comes to socialism, they're going to say like they're going to come down to these rudimentary ideas that you cannot have capitalism because capitalism does ABC, but we're talking about socialism, which I'm kind of going off the top. I'm kind of going off.
This is really interesting, dude. It's really
It
interesting.
is interesting, but like their argument is not exactly what I feel like they're going for. They're using the argument.
They're kind of confused, is what you're saying?
Yeah, they're kind of confused. They're using the argument that, oh well, this is going to take away jobs. Oh, this is going to provide a bad thing because when people have inequality, well then the people obviously on the bottom are getting like squished by the people on top. But that's
Right.
Yeah.
obviously like it looks like that way on the surface. It looks like the electrician's not going to get a job,
That's not true.
but it's not true. That electrician went then to go make the machines that
I was going to
provided the
say, someone has to
electricity.
run the machines.
Someone
too,
has to
I mean.
make the machine. Someone has to run the machine. Someone has to, and so there's more jobs created. The same idea is like you have to have the people who are. Yes, it might look uneven. Yes, there might be
the
poor people.
surface,
Yes,
yeah.
there might be extremely rich people. But those rich people make a lot of jobs for poor people. They
I mean-
make like nobody, like everybody nowadays. This house right here, like my house, we live better than anyone 100 years ago.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone.
Oh, yeah.
We have
The living
air
quality has
conditioning,
gone
we
up
have-
a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So we live better than the richest person back then,
Mm-hmm.
100 years ago. We live better being a middle class
That's-
family than the poorest people nowadays have a microwave, have a refrigerator, have
Because they
AC.
go to- they
Yeah,
go to a
well,
shelter.
I
They
heard
live
somewhere
better. They go to a
that the
shelter.
U.S. has like the richest poor people.
Yeah, no,
You know,
seriously.
like,
That's
That's
kind of
true.
weird. That's
Yeah.
weird to say, but like,
Like we're considered the 1%. I'm pretty sure we're middle class. Like we all have middle class families. Like we're all the 1%, and this is 1% of America.
that's why it's a myth. That's why the 1%
all
thing's
of
a myth.
America is like 1% of the world. Like we're in the top 1% of the world because, like, I forget what the statistics are. And like, if you have a house with a garage, you're like in the 1% of the
Yeah,
world.
this
It's
is
like,
why
oh my gosh.
this is why when Bernie Sanders says the 1%, it's an absolute myth.
He
like
says that?
yeah, it's like white. Didn't they
We're
say
all-
something about?
I
They say
don't
something
remember
about
that
like
one
no, like something like
specifically,
dividing
but-
about like how poor like rich people are. You know, like
I don't know.
getting more than poor people. But
I'll
I was
take your word
thinking
on it,
that
though. He's kind of.
That's another reason why he's nuts.
Yeah.
That's another reason why he's nuts.
The only thing I like about Bernie Sanders is in the bad lip reading
Yeah.
videos on
Yeah,
YouTube
the scene in
because
the
he's
song.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Seems like a very interesting guy to be around. I wouldn't mind like.
Yeah.
Have a
having
cup of
coffee
coffee.
with- Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I think,
Yeah, and then
Yeah, grab
dispute
some
his
Starbucks.
arguments. That'd be really fun.
Oh yeah.
Kind of
Just
scary though,
shoot
because
him
it's
down.
like a like
You
a
need to go
political
to the-
figure. You know, I
Almost
don't
said
know.
it.
Why does he
So-
always do that? He always brings his hands up like, I'm gonna like.
Is he gonna party?
For you guys who are listening terrestrially and not with video, you need to watch the video.
Yeah,
that-
you just see what
It's
happened.
it's
man.
more fun with video.
Funny.
It's funner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Funner.
More funny.
Funner, funny, whatever. But
Funniest.
Aiden, you got some things about the. Well, you kind of touched on it briefly, but the
Yeah.
myth about the different classes, right?
Yeah, just yeah, like Nathan was saying, the whole of America is the 1%. There's no, in my eyes, there's really no such thing as upper, lower, middle. I mean,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
well, oh, okay, there is, but like it's not as drastic as people think it is.
Because
It's not as
I think that.
that. Right.
it's not dramatized.
Let me just. May I interject here real
Yeah.
quick? But I think it's not so much like does it exist. It's more of like it's like a term that we use to classify. Okay, this person has this amount of income. This person
Yeah.
has this amount of income. You know, it's like it's not so much like
So
How
therefore,
much
they're
are
in
you
this,
putting into the economy? It's
Yeah.
more like how
And-
much money do you have?
you have
and
this
I-
income, so therefore you're in this class.
and
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not sure if
I think
this.
that's more or less.
I'm not
right.
sure if this is a belief of the socialists or not, but like you can't like socialism. No, maybe let me backtrack a little bit. Socialism, it's like everyone's equal, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you aren't able to get out of that equal phase. You can't be a little bit above them.
Right,
No,
right.
you
Yeah,
have to
nope,
be
you have to be
exactly.
exactly like them,
That's
yep.
the idea, right?
They're basically robots.
Then
Like,
again, no incentives. None.
Yeah, no
None-
incentive to
no
work.
incentive to
You
work harder.
Might as well. That's why it fails, is because people are like, well, I'm gonna get my stuff that's necessary to live, so I'm just gonna lay on my fat butt and watch TV all day, watch the
Yeah.
football game. You know, well, the football players have incentive? Probably not, so they'll just be sitting on the sidelines. But
Oh,
Isn't it for
man.
the sport?
There's a. It's just. It's so dumb to me that like people can't not understand like capitalism and just not see why it's better. It's just,
yeah, like it's just I don't know.
It creates competition. It creates jobs. It puts food in people.
That's why it's
Yeah.
like it's okay to have people that are really rich because
Yeah.
that they work for it.
Right.
It gives the
but-
poor people
And
jobs.
yeah,
There's certain ways about it that you shouldn't do, like
Yeah.
monopolies.
Some
That's
business
bad. You know
practices,
that
and-
that goes against capitalism. Actually,
But monopolies, generally speaking, will eventually fall. Like they
Yeah,
do
even
eventually
then,
fall. Even
yeah.
with
yeah,
capitalism.
because there's too much moving parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's too
Like-
many moving parts to everything. So
Like
I mean,
McDonald's.
capitalism. I'm not a full capitalist. I'm not 100%
Right.
Capitalism is the best system that's. I mean, it probably is the best system that's ever been made, but it's not the most perfect system.
It's the most
No, none
influential.
of the all systems have their
Have that
flaws,
fail.
but
Yep.
socialism definitely has more flaws than
has the
success.
most. It
I
has
mean,
the most.
in an ideal situation, having everyone being able to have what they want, you know, like
That kinda
they have a
sound-
little
that-
bit of things like that.
Well,
That would be
they're
nice.
never gonna get
Everyone,
all that they want.
Yeah.
They're just gonna get what they get.
yeah, but ideally they
won't
want
go
all
right,
these
right.
things, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get all this, but
No, you're not.
no, you're not necessarily. That's why I'm against it.
Government
Like,
owns everything.
you know, that's probably the biggest
The
thing.
reality. Sorry to interject you, but yeah, they want all that. But the reality of the situation is you're not gonna get it. I mean, that's all there is to it.
Yeah,
It's,
you don't gotta look any further than that.
it's just.
Government ruins a lot of things. So
Which
why
kind of leads us into the socialism in 1984.
government? Yes.
Yes, this. I'm feeling that our country is becoming more like.
And
So
if,
1984
Orwellian.
was a book.
yeah,
By-
if,
by
you're
Orwell.
unaware,
Yeah,
unaware
Orwell.
of that,
And
yeah.
you guys, if you have not read it, like you know, that
Highly recommend it.
history
It's,
repeats itself, and this is
Yes,
a
it
book
does.
that's not exact history. It's more like a
Right.
dystopian book,
And
but
a fictional.
it really shows.
alternate history, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It
Yeah.
shows a version of history that hasn't happened yet, but
But it's possible,
It's
really.
possible, and
Mm-hmm.
it's if history keeps on repeating itself. It's a
will
really
happen.
great book. It seriously has came true in so many ways. There's been so many things in it I'm not gonna say it's the
Ben
Bible
Shapiro,
where there's
then Ben Shapiro's talked about it a lot.
But I'm not going to say it's the Bible and that there's prophecies.
No.
But it's as if there are prophecies in this book where things come true in it all the time. Burning books, all these scary things that were... You just see history repeat.
Funny books, and then that's Fahrenheit 451.
You know what 1984 reminds me of?
Fahrenheit 451. But
Aiden.
still, it's still...
You know what that reminds me of? That book? North Korea.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because they basically watch you through your TV there. I mean, like how those like little monitors or whatever they talked about in the book,
like the telescreen.
The telescreens. Yeah. I imagine it in my head as like one of those things that are wedged in the wall, and it's like the screen that bulges out to like a certain angle.
Yeah,
like,
and
so it
just
can
like
see a certain angle of the room.
No,
like if it's in the corner, it's gonna be looking out at at me or something. If it's facing that.
There's
corner
a weird reference with the screensaver from The Incredibles 2. That's basically what...
Oh, Screenslaver from...
Incredibles 2, yeah.
Anyone that's seen that movie...
Explain what that is, though.
That's basically like, they hypnonize everyone, basically, and control them.
They kind of control people through the screens, and... It's not that simple.
No.
Because
there's a lot
in
of
cartoon,
things
it's like,
going
on.
a swirly thing comes on the screen, and now you're hypnotized. It's but over time, if you're raised from birth to adulthood thinking that Kim Jong-il is your god, and then he dies.
Came down from a rainbow.
It's just exactly.
That's his story. That's actually his story. That's how it was said. Yeah, came down from a rainbow, and
Man, at least hire some better writers than that.
He probably landed pretty hard on it. At the end too.
Have you ever seen? Have you guys ever seen the movie The Interview?
No, I haven't.
They mock that so much. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, so that was good. But I think that's pretty much all that we have for this podcast. I mean, if we have anything else we want to, make fun of Cortez more, we will.
Okay.
One more thing about...
Alexandria,
one more
Cortez, occasional Cortez.
Occasional cortex.
Cortex.
Well, one more thing
Frontal
actually.
cortex. Alexandria,
Alexandria,
prefrontal
Nina,
cortex.
Penta, Santa Maria, occasion.
But so I definitely want to do updates if there's some more stupid thing that she does. I really, I don't know.
Jared,
it makes you laugh.
That's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast.
I would.
My word.
My word.
All right, well, I think that's about it for us today.
Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks for joining Off the Grid. See you guys.
Conversation downstairs. Down below. See you guys.
See you guys.